Hi students, now we are going to discuss the third application of dimensional analysis, which is to establish the relationship among the physical quantities. So for that, the example 1 is, we are going to obtain the expression for the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum. So you must have studied the simple pendulum in the theory. So Galileo has invented the simple pendulum. Any mass attached to a string and freely allowed to oscillate is called a simple pendulum. Now you can see that from a rigid ceiling or support, a string whose free end is tied to a metal ball which is called bob, non-magnetic material. Okay, so it is a spherical mass which is called the bob. Now let us take its mass is m. Its mass is m. And it is tied to a string whose length is L. So if it is left free in the resting position, means the thread will be pulled in the downward direction due to the weight. So there is an acceleration due to gravity in the downward direction. So the weight of the bob is m into g. Now I want to oscillate the pendulum. Several oscillations it will make and finally it will come to rest. So what is the time taken by this simple pendulum to make one to and fro motion? That is one complete oscillation to move to and fro, back and forth. That time is called the period of oscillation. Now I don't know the formula for the period of oscillation at the beginning level. Let us assume we don't know. Okay. So the period of oscillation capital T may depend on what factors. What are all the factors available here? It may depend on the mass of the pendulum. It may depend upon the length of the pendulum. It may also depend on the acceleration due to gravity. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. But by the method of dimensions, I can find out the exact relationship. So for that, I will take that the time period, okay, the time period of oscillation is denoted by the symbol T. So time period capital T may depend on, okay, it may depend on. So we are not sure the length, mass or mass, L length and G the acceleration due to gravity. How many times? Even if it depends on the mass or length or acceleration due to gravity. So to the square root of these terms or square of the terms or cube, we don't know. So I will take that the time period T is proportional to the mass of the bob, okay, to the power x, and I will also take this depends on the length of the string to the power of y, and T is directly proportional to acceleration due to gravity raised to the power of z. So I want to find the values of this x, y and z. So these are the terms I have assumed on which the period of oscillation depends. So combining all these, I can write T is proportional to m raised to the power x into L raised to the power y into G raised to the power z. So this is a proportional symbol. I am going to convert this into an equation. Therefore, T must be equal to some constant K. This K has no dimension. It has only the numerical value. It is a dimensionless constant, which is now called as proportionality constant. So K times m power x, L power y, G power z. Okay. So what is K here? I told it is a dimensionless constant. It cannot be determined. Okay. It cannot be determined by the method of dimensions. Only by experimental method. So the value of K can be determined by experimental method. So first I will take a simple pendulum of a certain length and find the period of oscillation. Next time I will find the period of oscillation for some other length. By comparing these two periods, I can find the value of K by experimental method. So this value of K also is found to be 2 pi by experimental method. Okay students, this is by the experiment we can find out the value of K, and it has been determined that K is equal to how much? 2 pi. Okay. Now period, the time period, the SI unit of time period is second. So the dimensional formula for period is capital T itself, capital t itself. Is it not? Okay. Now you see that this is the first equation which I am going to consider. Capital T is equal to k into m power x, mass raised to the power x, length L raised to the power y, and acceleration due to gravity g raised to the power z. So on both sides of the equation 1, I am going to substitute the dimensional formula. Okay, substituting. This is the step. So substituting dimensions. Okay, substituting dimensions in equation 1. So left hand side is time period. So it is simply capital T on the left hand side. This is equal to k does not have any dimension. So we need not write anything for k. And mass is raised to the power x. So the dimension of mass is capital M and the power is x. And the dimension of length is simply capital L. So this is a capital L raised to the power y into acceleration due to gravity g is having the dimension of L t power minus 2. L t power minus 2 whole power z. So we have substituted the dimensions of each term on both LHS and the right hand side of equation 1. Okay. Once again, this time period t, it does not have any dimension in mass and length. So I can also write at the left hand side as m raised to the power 0, L raised to the power 0, t raised to the power 1. So it is permitted. This is the right way of representing the dimensional formula also. We are giving details that it does not depend on mass, does not depend on the length here itself. Is it not? So m power 0, L power 0, t power 1 on the left hand side. Now on the right hand side, I look at the three bracketed quantities and I want to group all the m terms. All the m terms. There are no m term. There is no mass term in the second and the third bracket. Therefore, one and only m term is what? The first term. So it is m raised to the power. It is m raised to the power of x into. Now I am grouping the L terms. L terms. There is no L term in the first bracket. There is an L term in the second bracket which is raised to the power y, and there is an L term in the second bracket which is raised to the power z. So totally on the right side, L is raised to the power of y plus z. Y plus z. Is it not? L power y into L power z is L power y plus z. Similarly, there is no t term here. Here also there is no t term. Here only one and only t term is here. That is t raised to the power minus 2 whole power z. So what is the total power of t? T power minus 2 whole power z is t power minus 2z. T power minus 2z. So this is t raised to the power of minus 2z. Have you understood? Okay. Now what I am going to do is equating the powers. Okay. Equating the powers of m, L and t. M, L and t on both sides in this equation. Left hand side m is raised to the power 0. Right side m is raised to the power x. So if I equate these two, what is the value of x must be equal to? Yes, m power 0 is equal to m power x. Therefore, what is x is equal to 0. We have got one value directly. The value of x is equal to 0 we have got directly. Similarly, what other term can be taken? You see here t power minus 2z, here t power 1. So I will take like this. So t power minus 2z. So minus 2z is equal to here t power 1. So minus 2z is equal to 1 means what is z must be equal to? So z must be equal to what? Minus 1 by 2. Z must be equal to minus 1 by 2. We have got two values. X and z we have got. So middle term I am going to take L and L comparison, is it not? So y plus z is equal to 0. Y plus z is equal to 0. So y plus z is equal to 0 or y is equal to minus of z. So that is equal to minus of minus 1 by 2. Minus of minus 1 by 2. Therefore y is equal to plus 1 by 2. Y is equal to minus of z. Minus of minus 1 by 2 is what? Plus 1 by 2. So we have determined the values of x, y and z. So these values of x, y and z as well as the value of k equal to 2 pi, we are going to substitute the values of k, x, y and z in the first equation. So in the first equation I am going to substitute, okay, substituting. So substituting x, comma y, comma z, comma k in equation 1. So left hand side is what? T. T is equal to k is equal to 2 pi into m raised to the power what? X. So m raised to the power 0 into next one is L raised to the power y. L raised to the power y means what? Half. So into L raised to the power 1 into g raised to the power minus 1 by 2. So 2 pi is the value of k. M raised to the power x. X is 0. L raised to the power 1 by 2 and g raised to the power minus 1 by 2. That means it can be written in the denominator. So this is t is now equal to 2 pi into L power half divided by g power half. So whole power half or t is equal to 2 pi into whole power 1 by 2 is square root. So this is 2 pi into square root of L by g. So this is the required equation for the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum, and in this equation we have proved that the time period of oscillation does not depend on the mass of the pendulum. This is a very greatly important point. See, in the competitive exams and all, they will divert you by asking MCQs. See, the length of the simple pendulum is doubled. So what will happen to the period? So that here L can be substituted inside the square root. Suppose if the question is, if the mass of the simple pendulum is doubled, means by how much will the period of oscillation change, they will ask. It will not change at all, irrespective of the mass. If you take 50 gram or 5 kilogram mass also, for a given length at a given place, the period of oscillation does not depend on the mass at all. It is independent of the mass. It depends only on what? The length of the string and the acceleration due to gravity at the place. So this is one of the applications, the third application of the dimensional analysis, and this is the first example. So by this we have derived an expression relating the physical quantities. So T is one physical quantity called the period of oscillation. It depends upon what other physical quantities, the length of the string and the acceleration due to gravity. That is the application number 3. So we have established the relationship among the physical quantities. Have you understood? Okay, fine.